Well guys, it's about time we get into a new Transformers topic. Which is my favorite Transformers villains? And let's start off from Scourge. Dude, why is Scourge even here? We haven't seen much of him doing anything other than quote-unquote killing Bumblebee. I won't lie, Shadow for the most part was a very clever Decepticon. She easily manipulated the humans, and is really impressive because half of the Decepticons in the Michael Bay films lack personality or even potential to help drive the story. Plus, she's a triple changer, but I still find her to not quite be up there with the rest of the villains. Bro, no one cares about Squidward's girlfriend. I know she has the Emperor Palpatine's powers going on, shooting lightning and moving objects with her mind, or probably with telekinesis, or however the hell she moves Cybertron. But seriously, no one took her that serious. As much as I love this design and prefer not to be called Galvatron, he felt like a very little threat considering that we haven't seen him fight again after getting his shit rocked by Optimus. And later in the film, he just let his drones do the dirty work. He's basically a generic side piece of a villain. And I'm pretty sure half of the people that watch or even remember Age of Extinction forgot about him. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it here for you guys. I like Lockdown, but I honestly don't know how I feel about him. Yes, I understand he's a badass bounty hunter, but let's not forget that he had help capturing and killing most of the Transformers off screen. Even when he captured Optimus, he had help. I'd rather be scared of Cemetery Wind because these are grimy ass humans. I personally find anime Lockdown to be more scary and much more of a threat than Age of Extinction Lockdown, because at least he hunts alone and he can set up traps that can more than likely kill you. And the fact that Ratchet knows him, not gonna lie, Age of Extinction kind of fumbled the bag with this one.
Hey, no fair!
That car. The blackouts. No, it's impossible.
They could have done a different take and explored on the background between Ratchet and Lockdown.
Your magnetic powers won't work on these cables. Carbon fiber, non-metallic.
You Decepticon scum.
Oh, I'm not one of them. Name's Lockdown. I'm what you call a bounty hunter. Decepticons pay real good for info, battle plans, access codes. Your friend should net me some sweet upgrades. Of course, you know what I really live for. Hunting trophies. Like my new EMP generator. You like?
But I'll give Age of Extinction and Lockdown some credit. He does have some really cool lines.
Autobots, Decepticons, like little children, always fighting, making a mess out of the universe. Tell me where he's hiding. Where is Optimus Prime?
Never.
Never is here. An alliance is a contract, and contracts, like humans, expire.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
I also have a saying. I don't care. You promised me human intelligence. Or is there such a thing? Every galaxy I've traveled, all you species are the same. You all think you're the center of the universe. You have no idea. I feel sorry for you, Prime. Your allegiance to these humans. The trouble with loyalty to a cause is that the cause will always betray you. We all work for someone.
And not to mention that he was whooping Optimus Prime's ass, giving him the wet work. He even impaled him with his own sword. But let's not also forget that he gets his shit rocked by Optimus because he got distracted by a bunch of humans. And guys, tell me if this makes any sense. A bounty hunter who's been doing his job, capturing or even killing lots of creatures from unknown planets for God knows how many years, finds it difficult to kill 3 humans. Bro, if you say the Fallen is the best Transformers villain, I legitimately question your taste in villains. You know what? I'll just let Perspective and have his fun with this.
Let's talk about the big useless bastard himself. I have no idea, not one clue why people have any affection for this design. I hear people asking for a new figure of this crap often, and I don't get it. This design is the worst. There is nothing cool about it. What am I supposed to like? The fact that he's so skinny he looks like if you swept the legs you'd snap them off? Am I supposed to like how his elbows are fused to his hips with grotesque strands of robo-meat that would inhibit the range of his arms like no one's business? He looks like a 50s socialite wearing a fur boa just out for a night on the town. And since when were excessively tall heads supposed to be cool and intimidating? What advantage does this give him? With the chin so long it's going to be hard to look down since that's going to bang into his clavicle, and the forehead being so long it just makes him a bigger target who can't duck behind cover. Oh no, I got it! It's so that there's more to grab for Leatherface Prime to tear the whole thing off like the serial killer he is. His head looks like a shoe. Why did all the Primes look exactly the same? Was it because the movie makers were lazy? Because I think it's because the movie makers were lazy. Also, just gotta love how all of them were so dumb they killed themselves to hide the Matrix when they could have just buried it in a random place, or better yet, shot it into the sun. Good luck getting it now, asshole! With your stupid centipede hands. These would be capable of holding stuff unlike Megatron's hands, but they would have the exact opposite problem in that they're too rigid and would still make his life hell. And that's just the general theme with all of these abominations. There was no thought put into what life with bodies like theirs would be like. God, I hate you, you spindly bastard.
I'm a little bit confused. Are we talking about 07 Megatron or just Megatron throughout the Bayverse? If it's the 07 Megatron, then he fits the number 2 spot very well. He was a complete mess to both Autobots and humans alike, even ragdolling Optimus a few times in the first film. If we're talking about Megatron throughout the Bayverse, oh, this is gonna be a fucking complete rabbit hole to go through. But after the 07 film, Megatron was a completely wasted major villain. Megatron got treated dirty throughout the whole entirety of the Michael Bay films, and it's just pathetic, man. Megatron was totally fine in the first film and provided how much of a threat he truly was, but after that he took a nosedive to immeasurable disappointment. In Revenge of the Fallen, he was treated like a side piece, being a lackey to the Fallen, which, I'll be upfront, I dislike the idea of Megatron calling the Fallen Master. That seems a bit out of character even though this is an entirely different continuity. I can understand if he looked up to the Fallen and took inspiration like Transformers Prime and Machinima's Power of the Primes, even though that they came after, but that doesn't sound like Megatron willing to suck up to someone. I already made a video about Starscream being a wasted character, but like I said in that video, in other incarnations of Megatron, he is always seen as the big boss man who is always in charge and willing to bring sheer terror among his troops, and to those who dare defy him, or even deny his rule. Anyways, back to what I was saying, he gets bodied by Optimus at the beginning of the forest fight.
Waste of metal. Junkyard.
He then calls his boys when he couldn't take the heat, then proceeds to call him weak after stabbing and blowing Optimus's back out. Like, dog, really? You had the nerve to call him weak while you was getting your shit rocked?
And what annoys me still to this day is the fact that Megatron had the audacity to say this.
You're so weak. So weak.
Crazy how Optimus is so weak, but he just came from clapping y'all 1v3. And you had to sneak up behind this man just to say that word, bro. That is some next level type of stuff, bro.
He then gets turned into a bullet sponge by suppressing human firepower, like in the first film. And then when Optimus revives and gets his new upgrade, he gets his arm torn to pieces, half of his face blasts off, and then gets blasted through a nearby wall.
Starscream!
In Dark of the Moon, he was again treated like a side piece, only for him to realize he was supposed to be the big bad, and it took a human of all things for him to check his ego and get his balls up to finally stand up for himself, until he gets his shit rocked again by Optimus. In The Last Night, my god, I hate that fucking movie, he went from Galvatron back to Megatron by Quintessa with no explanation. If you showed a non-Transformers fan this film after watching the previous films, guarantee you they'll be asking, how did Galvatron went back to Megatron, and when did this happen? It really would have been nice to have a scene of Quintessa going up to Megatron asking for his help, but Megatron makes a demand that he wants a new body because he despises his new form because it reminds him of the insects that defeated him multiple times. Then she gives him his new body. And even in this shitty movie, he still gets treated like a side piece once a fucking again. I'll give Mans a little bit more credit, at least he was doing a little bit of something.
Come and get some, you little bitch!
But guys, at this point, Megatron is nothing but a secondary antagonist. And it's just sad knowing how they butchered this man's character, reducing him into a minor villain. This is Megatron, leader of the fucking Decepticons. He is a vile tyrant who believes in peace through tyranny. I can see why Bayverse Starscream didn't even bother trying to overthrow Megatron, because he knew he'd be at the same position from the very beginning.
Better Cybertron. We must reach their sparks and minds.
Some of us don't want your vision of Cybertron.
You're running low on energon. You're desperate, taking risks and overextending yourselves. I don't care what you want.
Impossible! No one has ever survived to reach this place!
You shall soon learn, Starscream. I decide what is possible and what isn't. Target identification. Megatron, Decepticon leader. Recommendation, complete termination. You think you can destroy me, Omega Supreme? You think you can destroy Megatron? Do your worst!
Megatron, look what I found.
Optimus Prime. That is what they call you now, isn't it? Megatron.
Funny, isn't it, Megatron? How easily I defeated the one adversary you couldn't.
Silence! It didn't have to come to this. This is what you chose, Prime, when you defied me. All of this is your doing. Optimus! Megatron, stop. I'll stop when all of you are dead.
No!
This is needless. All we want is to leave. Charge up the warp cannon! Wipe their precious ark off the face of Cybertron!
I have been wise to your transgressions from the beginning. Not only did you pluck the dark energon from my chest in a failed attempt to snuff my spark, but you tried to raise your own undead warrior with it.
You know about that?
The fact is, Starscream, despite your treachery, I've allowed you to carry on this long because I took a certain delight in following your string of failures. But you finally become tiresome, predictable. You've hit rock bottom.
Optimus Prime won't know what hit him! And I won't have Decepticon rebels blowing up space bridges whenever they feel like it. We need a coordinated effort to defeat the Autobots, not random acts of sabotage. Is that the best you could do, Starscream? And to think you actually believed you could take over as leader of the Decepticons. You couldn't lead a parade.
I love Bay vs. Megatron for the most part, but my god, Michael Bay straight up turned this iconic villain into a beta bitch. Yo, remember in the 07 film when the Autobots could hardly handle Brawl, Blackout, and Starscream after they were running their fade? And then when Megatron pulled up, the Autobots were like, "Aw shit, it's Megatron. Everybody, move your fucking ass. Fall the fuck back, now." If the next Transformers movie decides to bring Megatron into the frame, please make him the main villain. Let him be a true menace. Won't somebody please give this tyrant some black Air Force energy. And for my favorite Transformers villain, as much as I hate this character, Sentinel Prime wins this by a landslide. He was a perfect twist villain that didn't get spoiled in the trailers. He had a clear motivation and had to do what was necessary in his eyes, willing to betray his student, his beliefs, his own brothers and sisters, and even willing to commit genocide and slavery for the sake of saving whatever is left of Cybertron and for the survival of the Cybertronian race.
It is time for the slaves of Earth to recognize their masters. Seal off the city.
He even said he would work with Megatron, but not for him.
I have deigned to work with you, that our planet may survive. I will never work for you. And you would be wise to remember the difference.
The most messed up part about this is that he made the deal back on Cybertron, so he was going to betray the Autobots at some point. And what's interesting was that most of the Decepticons knew about the plan. Not even Starscream knew about Sentinel's defection of the Autobots. This plan was so insane that the Decepticons planned it for 50 years. Plus, he was a highly capable fighter for an old Transformer. And let's not forget that this slimy son of a bitch murdered Ironhide in cold blood.
A deal had to be made with Megatron. I hereby discharge you from duty.
This would be one of those instances where I would justify Optimus killing, even if they were begging for their life, because I don't see how you would come back from genocide and attempted slavery.
You betrayed yourself. No, Optimus!
And that is my favorite Transformers villain. But to be frank, this is basically a top Transformers villains video. I'd like to thank y'all for taking the time to watch my videos throughout 2022, whether it's through memes, discussion videos, or even spin-off videos. I hope they were enough to cheer you up, or at least make you laugh a little bit. I'm honestly amazed I got this far from reaching... Wait, how many subscribers do we have now? Oh damn. A few months ago I had about like 200 subscribers, but now I got 420. I'm not the type that does New Year's resolutions, but if I had one, it is probably either to gain 600 or somewhere above that. So let's make it happen. If y'all watching haven't subscribed yet, come on, just give it a click and hit that bell while you're at it. You'll get some new content rolling your way. Anyways, that's it for today. My name is Achimi1010, and I wish y'all a happy New Year, Transformers fans. Stay tuned for the next videos coming soon.
Give the video a like. Give the video a shout out. Above all, give the channel a groovy subscriber.